How's it going, everybody? Rob here, back with another video. This is episode 19 of NOVAKORP from Novakast. My audio podcast where I basically will, every once in a while, talk about a particular movie that I've seen. Eventually I might do shows. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But either way. This one, however, I've been on this, besides kind of stepping back and doing, because I did Hellboy at one point, I'm going to talk about Annabelle Comes Home. This is another movie from the quote-unquote Conjuring Universe. It's directed, actually, it was released in 2019, directed by Gary Goberman, written by Gary Goberman and James Wan, starring Vera Farmiga, Patrick Willis, McKenna Grace, and many, many others. I guess to start us off, first, this is like what the third or fourth time we get the freaking origin of them using the same clip of when they got the doll, of them interviewing the nurses and whatnot. So fun. I'm pretty sure it's the third, maybe the fourth. I don't know. Either way, they've used that clip a lot to start the movie. So anyway, this follows more so not focusing on Ed and Lorraine Warren, but more focusing on Judy, their daughter. It's interesting. It does start off with right after the fact when they had the interview with the nurses and them taking the doll home, only for it to start really kind of ramping up the what's going on. Apparently now it can, summon other spirits in its vicinity, which apparently it could have done that the entire time. Also, there's some other things that the quote-unquote entity does in this film that make no sense, and really, if you really think about it, why didn't it do this before? But anyways, so again, movie starts off with that. If more so focuses on Judy, Ed and Lorraine Warren end up going about on another case, and Judy is left with her babysitter, Maria, played by Madison Eisman, and a friend of hers, played by Daniela Reyes. Daniela Reyes, played by Katie Sarif. Hopefully I said that correctly. But anyways, so, and as you could probably guess, you have, Judy Warren, who is the child of Ed and Lorraine Warren, their babysitter, who's basically more so briefed on what's not to be touched in the house. So there's that. And then the random friend that, is invited abruptly, and then when there's no supervision, proceeds to go into the paranormal room and touch everything, and all hell ensues. And it's them trying to... Oh, and also, by the way, Annabelle gets let out of her case, which apparently everything that she's been able to do is locked up in this particular case. So, as long as the case is closed, nothing happens to it, they are perfectly fine. So, which begs the question how she was able to basically, torment Judy in the first movie while she was still in the case, but I digress. Anyways, so I want to say one big thing about this film is the variety of different entities that they introduce. And I mean, almost every single one of these new entities that are only here for this one movie, which I feel it's kind of makes me kind of want to see more of like the different entities that they come across. Like, for instance, you have the freaking the ferryman, who is literally based on Greek mythology to some extent. You have I can't remember the exact name of the beast, but there is a beast in England that roams the countryside. There's a spirit for that. There is a woman in a white dress, which for some reason it got me thinking of the Bride in Black from Insidious. But anyways, and then Annabelle. And we also get more of a look on the demon, like the true form of the demon, which, I'll be honest, it's kind of the stereotypical look. At least, I'll see this, at least this time around, instead of like going like the really dark, like black paint where you can't see anything, they actually, like, you can actually see what it looks like, but at the same time, I'm just like, I'm not that impressed with this. But I'll say this though, it's kind of a shame because I think around this time, either this is I'm pretty sure this is before, this is like the only way I can explain it. This is before The Conjuring 2. Because they don't even, the Crooked Man, which you'd think that would have shown up in this, would have shown up. That would have been cool. But no, it didn't. I will say, like, besides all the entities being, in one movie, all their designs look pretty cool. Like, no joke, pretty cool. A lot of the artifacts that are brought up, like, we only see as like kind of like background pieces for the room. Each and every one of them are really, really interesting, especially when they get turned on. And like Annabelle starts like causing everything to go on a freak out. How they managed to deal with one of the entities was was interesting, to say the least. I almost said impressive, but I think interesting is a little bit more accurate. Where at one point, one of the characters, Daniela, ends up getting possessed. I don't care if I watched the movie. It's been out for what, 6 years, close to that. So you guys should have seen the movie already, 6 or 7, anyway. But Daniela ends up getting possessed, and earlier on they had a tape with a projector playing of Ed doing one of the exorcisms, and at one point, Daniela, possessed by one of the entities, I'm not going to say which one, so you guys can still end up watching the movie, ends up getting pushed back into the projector, and Judy turns it on, and it is kind of paralyzed as Ed, on the video, is saying the rites to the exorcism, which, again, is pretty cool idea. Because even if the person is not there, they can still enact the rites, and somehow that, maybe because the person in the video was like a person of faith, then it still works. But either way, it's like, I mean, it's cool, but it kind of makes you question, how did that work? But anyway, so they do, and I will say, eventually they do end up coming together, stopping Annabelle, locking her back up, and then all of everything that's occurred is stopped for the most part. Judy saved, Maria and Daniela don't die, and Lorraine caringly scold them about, basically touching their shit, and, the day is saved. That's about it for the movie. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of like at a toss-up of like how I would want to rate this. Just like with a lot of the other Conjuring movies, there is a lot of freaking jump scares. And I feel like, especially with movies like this, they heavily rely on that type of, I want to say, push to get people startled, which, let's be real here, does not count for being scary. Ultimately, scary movies have to be subtle. Scary movies have to build up to a scare to kind of put you in a sense of, I want to say a sense of dread, but overall just in a sense of unease. And that has to continue, that over time build. So overall, as cool as, and by the way, in case you guys are wondering, I haven't even talked about Annabelle again, which, as you guys could already guess, I'm still not a big fan of, like, James Wan and the rest of his team thinking that this porcelain doll thing was scarier than a Raggedy Ann. That automatically for me gets a freaking a bad rating. So I'm sorry. As much as I enjoy the other entities in this film and a lot of the other stuff, it's still not going to be completely, it doesn't help at all. So by the end of the day, I'm just going to give this a stream it. It has its moments of being good. Certain things I'm a little bit irritated with, because they introduce all these different entities and we're not going to get anything else with them. And movie like this, I wish would, if it is a prequel, then it makes sense that they didn't introduce, have other characters like the nun or the freaking, or the Crooked Man for that matter, being a part of this. But overall, this was a meh movie. Just stream it. So anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end this video here. And the audio review video. Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, it's all in the description down below. As well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob of Novakast and NOVAKORP signing off. Have a good one. Take care. And I will see you guys next time.